it is time for the non-galactic legend Sith to end. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zereth Prevails. Today we're going to talk about how to use Omicron Zam to take out Darth Revan, and honestly how to set the team up for other kills as well, but especially against really fast Darth Revan. It works really nicely. So you obviously need the Omicron on Zam. You don't need any other Omicrons. I'll tell you about the Zetas that we need, and I'll tell you about all kinds of other things that this team needs to be able to succeed. You don't need super high gear on Aurra Sing. I'll show you guys how I do it on my alt, how low gear still works really nicely, and we'll talk about all kinds of things, guys. We'll talk about why Zam looks like a human even though she's a changeling. We won't actually talk about that. That's actually just totally filler. So before we jump into all of this, guys, just want to remind you that if you want to support the channel for free, all you've got to do is hit that thumbs up button. Help me mount the algorithm. Do something, guys. Do something with yourselves. But seriously, comments or whatever, we've got to mount it, guys. We've got to. We're doing it. We're doing it. Hit the sub button. Just knock it out. All right, guys. So the Zam team. I'm going to show you guys the game first. We're going to go to the game and we're going to talk about the mechanics just a little bit. Then I'm going to show you guys some math and turn order back over here. And then I'll show you 3 different clips of me doing this against varying difficulties of teams. So let's go to the game first. Whoa, we're in the game. No transitions or anything. Madness. Okay, guys, first off, Zetas. You want the Aurra Sing lead Zeta. You want both of them on Bosk, both of them on Grief. I know that there's at least one that people question me on. I'm not going to take the time to explain all of it right now, but Grief is... both of them are actually very, very, very good. The Mando, you don't need his leadership Zeta, though some people have been using his leadership lately to be able to take down Quill teams and stuff. That's neither here nor there, though. And then we have Zam, who obviously needs her Zeta because her Omicron is on top of it. So the relevant different pieces of the mechanics here, guys, so that you guys understand. We can't go over all of the kits or anything. This video is going to attempt to be somewhat short, at least. So like I said, we don't need the sniper Zeta. We do need, on Aurra Sing, you want this lead Zeta. Whenever they defeat an enemy, then everyone gains stealth. The stealth is really nice because they gain extra offense and they stay hidden from people, which is also super nice, especially because if you have a taunt-er and you're facing Darth Revan teams, they're going to want to hit your guys who are weak and soft, and instead they'll hit Bosk, who is kind of weak and soft under her lead, but not super weak. The really relevant part, though, guys, if you don't want to put that leadership Zeta on, I get it. If you're on a lower level account and you don't have enough Zetas to afford, this one is something I guess you could leave behind a little bit. You're just accepting more risk. But here's how it works, guys. Whenever a bounty hunter uses an ability while they're buffed, then they get 10% toward the contract. And so you have a couple guys who can mass assist, and as long as everyone is buffed, and she starts everyone besides Bosk, at least on this team, in stealth, then everyone is going to be gaining it. Like, you can get it really fast as long as you outspeed your opponents. And so, yeah, that's how Aurra Sing works. You can read all the rest of her kit. It's okay. Bosk, the biggest thing for him, you need him to be fast. You need him to be the fastest one out there. And actually, I have him extra fast because I want him to be fast enough with Zam to be able to help two-shot the General or Jedi Master Kenobi teams with Cat. So as long as he's faster than Cat alongside Zam, then you can do that. This isn't a video on how to do that, but that's why he is so fast. You want Grief usually to be 1 speed slower, but in this case, I have my Grief considerably slower because I don't have all of the amazing mods. You do want both you've always wanted. Guys, trust me, you want all of the Zetas. If you don't want to use Bossk's lead Zeta for this comp, that's fine. You're going to want to use his lead Zeta anyways. It's really good. Sometimes you just want Bossk lead. You just really do. Grief, you just want him to be fast. Put both Zetas on him, guys. Seriously, they are really good. Bring him in cold. You get extra damage. Super amazing. On everyone, like really nice. And then this one, especially the one that dispels debuffs, this is a really important one, guys. And they gain tenacity up, really important one. That one's the better one. You want him to be fast though, as you can see. 315, and I mean, if you can put potency on him, double potency here, that's amazing, because then he can daze people. The priority though is speed. You just need him to be speediness. I don't know. It was about to get really cringy, guys, and inappropriate. Now, Mando needs to be the slowest of them all. I'm going to show you guys why. He needs to be considerably slower. Here's the thing. So you guys know how it works with his disintegrate and everything. Once you get contract, you can basically pick someone and kill them as long as it's not a galactic legend. However, if you want him to be able to go in the right order, in the correct order, you need him to go, well, in this case, you need him to go, he'll probably go third. But here's the thing, whenever he scores a crit, he gains 30% turn meter, and other bounty hunter allies gain half of that. So I don't know why they can't say 15%, but he gains 30%, they gain 15%. I guess they just want to add extra text here for fun, because we like to read, right? We're all literate here. We can all admit that we like to read, except some of us don't. So, you know, that being said, this is the key element to it, guys, because Zam changes the equation a lot. It used to be he could be fairly close in speed to Bossk and Grief, but he needs to be way slower, guys, way slower. You want crit chance on him, all the crit chance you can, because you want to be able to crit. And remember, you want extra crit chance over 100%, because what if they have a bunch of crit avoid? People are doing lots of crit avoid these days, and if they have 26% crit avoid here, I still have 100% chance to crit. If they have 40 crit chance, then I have less than that. I have less than that crit chance. If they have 40% crit avoid. So we need to make sure it's a little bit overflowing. Remember, the easiest way to get crit chance on him besides modding is through relics, though I know that can be expensive. So that being said, let's go back to the thumbnails. I'll show you guys a couple math things, and then we're going to show you 3 examples of how this all works. Oh yeah, we haven't, gosh, the most important part, I apologize. Zam, you want her to be fast, and then I guess have some potency. I have health on her because it was more convenient to do that. But potency is kind of nice. You know, a potency cross would not go amiss. You want her to be fast. You don't have to make her too fast. She doesn't gain a huge amount of, she doesn't get a whole bunch of benefit from being like stupidly fast. You could make her, I mean, I could make her like 340 something speed, 350 something, and that would be okay. I don't think you'd benefit that much from it. And you guys, if you want to check out my calculator on how to do all this, you know, I'll show you how to do it. You can mess around and see what the best benefit for you is. But basically, you just want her fast, and then if, I guess, some potency is nice, some damage is nice, whatever. And the thing about her, though, it's they're unique, and this is where it gets a little complicated. So, while she's in, remember, this is GAC only, so this doesn't work in territory wars or territory battles, and it doesn't work in territory battles anyways, because it's a mixed team. It's light and dark side both. But okay, Zam gains 5% speed for each other bounty hunter ally, so that means if you put 4 other bounty hunters with her, she's going to gain a total of 20% speed, and I'll show you guys the formula for that. So then on top of that, other bounty hunter allies gain 20% of Zam's, and they gain offense, max health, max protection, and speed. Speed is an important part of this, obviously, and if she revives, then they don't get it anymore, but that's neither here nor there. So speed is the important part. So she gains 20%, then they all gain 20% of that new modified speed. So that's what the Omicron does, and it didn't look that great at first, but man, in my opinion, this is one of the very, very best Omicrons out there, especially since Qui-Gon is less and less effective these days because of nerfs and because familiarity. So let's go back and I'll show you guys some math, shall we? Let's do math. Whoa, we're back here apparently. All right, so first off, Zam's speed to calculate this is just speed times 1.2, and that's her new speed. So easy enough. If she's 100 speed, then she gains it's times 1.2. She gets to be 120 speed. Then you take the new speed and you say, okay, other bounty hunters gain 20% of this. So what's 20%? Just take her modified speed and times it by 0.2. That's the new speed that you add on to all the other bounty hunters. So easy enough so far, right? Here's the turn order that you really want, though. Just to be clear, guys, at least the speed order. That's probably the best way to say it. I said turn order. I'm not going to go change it now. But you want Bosk to go first. You have to have him go first. It's very, very important. Then you'll need Grief. Grief, ideally, would be 1 speed slower than Bosk, if we live in an ideal world. But everything hinges on Grief's speed, actually, in fact. And then you have Zam, who is, you know, she can be faster than Bosk and Grief, depending on how you mod everything and whatever. It doesn't really matter, but Zam can be slower. That you know, Aurra needs to be faster than Mando, though, guys. This is very important for setting your team up for success for other counters. Like I said, trying to snipe out Cat from a General Kenobi or Jedi Master Kenobi team, etc. It's not necessarily like you don't have to have them faster. Have her faster for other reasons. So here's the thing, guys. Mando can overtake the team if you're not careful, because as you'll see in a little bit, what'll happen is Bosk will taunt, and then Grief will call the mass assist, and Bosk will gain 15% turn meter from Mando critting, and he'll also gain 100% turn meter from when the 100% from Frenzy and 15% from Mando critting. And so, but the thing is, he's going to be gaining that based off of Grief's current speed and situation. And so, I mean, that's kind of the trick. Like, you don't really care about how fast Bosk is as long as he's the fastest on the team. It's about Grief going because it's all based on when Grief is gone, because Grief's the one with 100% turn meter. So so Mando's going to gain 30% turn meter for crits. And keep in mind, this is different from calculating how much speed he is, because we're talking about turn meter. We're talking about how closer he's going to get toward taking his turn, toward 100% turn meter. And so, you know, the equation is a little bit weird and different. People argue about this a lot, but this is how it truly does work. It's tried and tested. I've done a lot of, I've relied on this a ton. And so, Grief speed, it times 0.85, and Mando speed 0.7, times 0.7. Both of these things, Grief total needs to be more than Mando's speed. So this is, you know, you have to take Zam's speed, her new speed. You have to take that and apply it to, and then give her modified speed given to all of the other Mando, or all the other bounty hunters, so they all get 20% of her new modified speed, including Grief and Mando. Then you take them, then you take that new modified speed and times it by 0.85 for Grief, 0.7 for Mando, and as long as Grief's faster than Mando, even by decimals, then you should be good to go. Now, that being said, I know it's some math, and I don't love it. I don't, but I do have a solution if you wanted to join my Patreon, guys. And I realize that costs money. You can find all the details in the video description, but you have access then to my calculator on how to calculate all of this. So all you have to do, enter your Zam speed. Let's say mine is 305, like she is. It then calculates how much her speed is with the Omicron, because it's 20%. And remember, this is 5v5 only. 3v3 is going to change because it changes the number of bounty hunters available, giving her speed. So I'll do that calculator if 3v3 comes back. So bounty hunter speed gain is 73%, or 73, so they all gain 73. So then you say, okay, Bosk, my Bosk is, what, 335, I think. So the speed after that is 408. Great. Grief speed after the mods. So he's going to be, what, 317. So that means that with Zam, he is 390. And okay, so now this is where we can play around with it. Okay, so my Mando speed, let's say I want him to be 250. Cool, so his speed after the Omicron Zam boost is 323. But look, okay, so then you look at these numbers and this auto-calculates. So Mando, when he gains the turn meter, it's 461 speed, and this number needs to be slower than the Bosk plus 15% turn meter gain. So what ends up happening is Mando's going to go before Bosk, and he's not going to go contract, and Mando will then, the whole team will just explode, they'll implode, whatever. It just won't work because Mando needed to go before Bosk. I mean, we needed Bosk to go before Mando because of the frenzy thing. You guys will see the mechanics here in a minute, and I'll point out how it messes it up. But, okay, so 250 is too fast, so let's get him to 248. Is that slow enough? And it is, in fact, slow enough. You guys can see that it's changed just a little bit. This, you have access, and it's just barely lower than the Bosk turn meter. So, keep in mind, guys, this is, you know, this works. I've done it a lot. A few of my patrons have done it, and it's accessible if you sign up for my Patreon and link your Discord ID to your Patreon. You'll have immediate access. So, yeah, check it out, guys. It's pretty easy. And I'm adding more and more calculators, too. I mean, this is a really simple one. But Kyle Katarn effective speed with Mon Mothma. If you don't want to do it yourself, just plug in your number and call it good. You have a Kyle Katarn at 280 speed. Look at that, in 5v5, he's 400 speed effectively on the first turn, etc. That being said, let's actually get to some real matches here, guys. Some matches where this all works. So, how does it all play out? We've set up all of the speed and everything, and it is really fancy, I realize. So, we've got the speed. Here is an example that I used just the other night. Let's see. Oh no, this is a while ago, but you know, you have to have your team faster than Darth Revan. That makes sense. There's no Darth Talon here or anything, but Talon doesn't really make, well, or maybe that is Darth Talon, the one who's stealthed. So here's how it goes. It's Aurra Lead. You have Bosk. He needs to taunt here. So he's going to taunt, as I say. Okay, so you see he has Frenzy. Now Grief is going to call the Mass Assist. It doesn't matter who gets it. Now, look at the number in the bottom right here, guys, the 50%. That's how close you are to getting your contract. So remember, Bosk went, he taunted, so he got buffs. Once he had buffs, then Grief went, and he called everyone to assist. Everyone took an action, and that means that we got 50% toward it, because we need to take 10 actions while buffed. It doesn't matter if it's on their turn or not. Now, if we had clocked it wrong, and we had made Mando too fast, he would get a turn right now. Look at how close Mando is. He's the bounty hunter closest to us. He would have gained 30, or he did gain 30% turn meter, and if we hadn't clocked him right, he would have gone next, and we would have had to wait till he took another turn, which would spell doom for us against a Darth Revan team who would just chop us into little pieces because they'd fear us and it would be over. That being said, we have the ability now to call the Mass Assist again and potentially get contract. Everyone is buffed, so as long as we all take an action, we get contract. And now we have Disintegrate. We take out Darth Revan. Now we can take out Basti if we want. Now keep in mind, under Aurra Seeing Lead, and, well, it's not just under Aurra Seeing. If you have Grief with you, when Boss takes the next turn, he'll still have his taunt up. Like, his taunt will still be available, but Grief will reset his cooldowns. And so you can call one more Mass Assist from Bosk, and then you'll have to retaunt. Because remember, every time he gets a turn, or every time someone does a special, he gains something from Frenzy. Okay, so now here's kind of the tricky, awkward part. So we've killed Basti next, and Marauder is super buffed right now. We can't debuff him because he's got tenacity equal to, you know, whatever his natural tenacity is, and plus 10% for every buff that's on the board. So, you know, we have a ton of buffs going on, and plus a lot of our guys just have to hit Malak anyways. So remember that there's a lot of tricks to this team. Like Zam, for instance, is going to be able to hit people with thermal detonators, and then she'll get more turn meter off of that. But, you know, your next execute needs to go into Malik, most likely. And then, you know, Marauder takes a little bit to take out. Let's take out Darth Talon real quick. You can see she is relicked and everything. And keep in mind, too, okay, we're trying to just snipe out that Marauder here. Obviously didn't pan out as much as I would like, but there we go. So 64 banners, because Aurra Lead also gives regeneration on protection. So we got that one. You know, that's a pretty tough one. Let's do one with Nest. This is the one that I was saying happened just recently to me. So this is one with, you know, Nest is going to be tough for us to take out. High tenacity. Revan, obviously, this is all relic 7 or 8. This guy had a really high GP, and just, you know, this is also, keep in mind too, guys, this team is, this Darth Revan is 380 speed, because he's 360 speed, and Talon gives him another 20. So, really fast. Once again, we just get our mass assist on to get our contract, snipe out Darth Revan, because we're getting all that turn meter, and now we've got to kind of bide our time. Everyone's in stealth, so Nest can't hit us back while we're in stealth, at least. So I'm trying to figure out here what exactly we're supposed to do. We're supposed to hit Nest. I was like, you know, let's take out her protection at least, make her easier to potentially just kill on, you know, naturally. But okay, we throw the thermals. Now this is why it would be nice to have extra potency on Zam, but I mean, it's also nice to have extra offense on her because she's giving offense to the whole team. So, you know, when Mando can ignore Malik, do it, because remember, his cooldowns are reduced every time he crits. So, you know, Zam, I'd rather not mess with Malik, really, so just do the evasion down, even though that doesn't really do anything. We have tenacity up, so Nest's thing just didn't really do much. And, you know, we're stealthed right now. Oh, I guess Zam isn't stealth, but, you know, may as well shoot Nest while we can. We can't stun her with Aurra because she has super high tenacity, which stinks, but yeah, it gets kind of tense. Look at how low all of our health and stuff is, guys. It's, you know, and Mando here actually dies once. It's terrifying. So, yeah, I guess we'll call Zam for fun. We're about to get our contract with Mando, but if Nest goes and kills him, it's pretty scary. But remember, Grief also, with his special, gives turn meter. So that's also an important aspect to all of this. And now, so we disintegrated Malik, and eventually we're going to have to probably do the same to Nest. So just calling mass assists and letting Nest hit Bosk is probably the best way to do things. Especially because we don't have any choice but to hit Nest because stupid Talon is in stealth. So this is a pretty challenging situation. You gotta really maximize things, but at the end of the day, I mean, eventually Mando's gonna get his turn, and it's gonna be great. He's gonna disintegrate the F out of Nest just like that. We get another 64 against a really fast team. And this is my team using the same speeds as I was just showing you guys. So finally, we're gonna go to the alt, where I'm gonna show you guys my Aurra has gear 10. My Zam is gear 12. Everyone else is relic, well, Grief and Mando are relic 0, and Bosk is like relic 5, I think, for the Executor unlock, and that's it. So yeah, this team we're facing is, you know, fast and good, and no one expects gear 12 Zam to actually contribute to anything, but this works, guys. I've done this a few times on my alt. This team works. I'll show you guys, and then we'll get out of here. So remember, gear 10 on Aurra is it. I think maybe some of the turn meter, or the speed order, is a little off from what my recommendations are, just to be clear. But okay, so mass assist, and you know, we taunt, we mass assist. We need to be clocked though, remember. And I was afraid of maybe killing that Basti too early, because or I guess it wasn't about Basti. I don't know why I shot Marauder there. It really doesn't matter who we're shooting, as long as it's not Malik or Darth Revan. Because remember, Darth Revan, if we shoot him, there's a ton of reasons not to shoot him, actually, guys. Because we can't mass assist, and once he gets to a certain point, he's gonna split his health and keep himself alive, kind of like a mini sacrifice sort of thing. And so, you know, once we take him out, now Well, maybe it was because I was afraid that Sith Eternal, or the Sith, whatever, the Sith dude, the Taunter, the Tank, the Trooper, Sith Empire Trooper, I was afraid he was going to get taken out because he's the only non-relic character here. So, okay, so watch. We shoot someone with a thermal, and Zam immediately gets 100% turn meter. So, I mean, it is nice when we can apply thermals to everyone. She can kind of just take as many turns as she wants. She can just go around the board, and then eventually she'll be able to apply thermals again. And, you know, it can be kind of an endless loop for a little bit until she finally kills someone. But as it stands, I mean, so that, you know, all my guys are pretty low relic, and remember, we're not getting much benefit from Zam. A lot of people have her at relic 7 because she's required for an unlock, but on my alt, I haven't unlocked, Lord Vader yet, and I don't intend to anytime too soon, and so her being relic 7 has some really nice stats to it, there's no doubt, but it's not absolutely necessary. Look at that, 75, my first attack of the day, and we got it. So, anyways, folks, this has been 25 minutes. I was hoping to make it a little shorter. That's what she said. But I hope that this works. Let me know in the comments if you have questions or concerns. Hopefully we can answer them if you can figure it out. Think of my Patreon, guys, video description. You can find the link to it. So, thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Zereth prevails. And Darth Revan is a sad panda these days. Take care.